This is a tutorial on how I did my Spartan Spin animation. Um, the method I use works really well with silhouettes, just because when the arm crosses over through the body, you don't really see it defined, so you can be less picky with your movements. I don't know if it works better with other ones, but here's how I did it in this context. So you can see in the animation, the Spartan on the left over here looks like he does full 360-degree turn to hit the other Spartan. Just like that. I'll show it to you again without the bones. Now, the way I did this wasn't actually utilizing the 3D functions Anime Studio 7 has. It was all in the bones. So, I'll go to frame 0. So, I have all the normal bones you'd have in a body. The ones that control the leg movement and foot movement and all that. But I also have bones along the skeleton. Like this one and this one. And in the face and the headdress. And these are going to help me make my effect like I'm turning the entire body. So the way I did this, I'll go to frame 1 and delete all the animation I have so far. The way I did this was, well, I'll start with the head. So I used the scale bones tool the most in this animation. So as you can see, right now it's looking like the guy is facing completely the other direction away from the camera. I'm going to go to frame 6 and use the scale bone and just scale it in just like that. Now I can use the Translate Bones tool to move it over towards the top of the head, and the Manipulate Bones tool to angle it, so just to tweak it so it looks nice. But as you can see, the face still looks like it's facing the other direction. And the way I fix that is with the Scale Bones tool again, and it looks like the guy's facing towards the camera. Now the way I did this was with the Bind Points tool, and what this tool does is you can select points and bind it to one bone, and there's tutorials online of how you can use it and on Anime Studio, so I'm not going to go into that. But as you can see, for the bone that affects the headdress, all these points are selected. For the bone that affects the face, the majority of the outside points that had the contour of the face and the helmet are selected. However, I left a circle here and a circle here unselected. So regardless of how much you scale it, it's still going to retain the basic shape of the head, and it won't look weird and squished. So that's why I did the head. Moving on, the shield was very straightforward. As you can see, I have a bone going off horizontally. The reason it's not vertical is because when I scale the bone, I want it to look like it's facing away from you or not like it's flat or horizontal. So, as you can see, this makes it look like it's facing more towards you. And I can just bring the arm down so you can see the rest of the body. And the shield was really nice in this animation because it let me be kind of sloppy with the majority of the arm movement while turning because it covers it. And same thing was done with the spear. Just scale it in a bit like that. Now for the lower and upper body, with the shoulders and hips, I use the Translate Bones tool. And all I do is move it out so it looks more squared off with the camera for both the shoulders and the hips. As you can see, it looks kind of weird right now, like they're jutting out. So then I used the bones that I had added along the skeleton, or along the spine of the body, and I scaled those out, just like this, to make it look more natural, and I moved the upper body up. But I still had this curve right here that didn't really look like it was squared off with the body, so that's why I added this bone right here. And all that bone is two squares that were small, so when I scale it out, it looks like there's shoulders. So now it looks like the guy's facing much more towards the camera, especially if I move the legs down and the shield and correct his posture. But if you notice in the video, the guy makes the full 360-degree turn. So the way I did that was I'd go to frame 7, double click on Spartan with spear, and check off flip horizontally. So now he's turned the opposite direction. But as you can see, this transition looks really weird and unnatural and jerky. So I go to onion skins and check off enable onion skins. And then I can click right below frame 6 and make what's called an onion skin. And just a brief description, it's basically a shadow of the last frame, and it lets you animate smoothly and know where you're coming from. So then all I had to do is just drag the different bones from other layer into about where they were in the other one. So that takes me moving the body a bit, and as long as the shield and the spear were in there, the audience wouldn't really notice, just because it's an action animation, so everything's moving fairly fast, so the little picky details don't really matter that much. If this was a slower animation, I'd have to go back and really fix it. So, there. Now you can see it looks a bit more natural, as if he's turning around. And the head still jerks a bit, but I could go back and fix that. So that's basically how I did it, and then from there on I could have the swing around and the sheet swing around and go back to where it was. But that's just basically how I did it. I hope this helps. If there's any questions that went unanswered, I'd be happy to answer them on the Anime Studio forum or on the comments. I'm new to making tutorials, so I don't know if this one's good or helpful. Tips would be helpful, and if there's any tutorials that you guys would like me to make, if you like this one, let me know. Alright, thanks.